Hello everyone, today I'm reviewing the new procedural twin-stick shooter roguelite Endless Dungeon. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you keep watching. Alright, the premise of the game is pretty simple. There's a giant alien structure that was created by an elder alien race called the Endless that's been pulling ships out of hyperspace that get you close to it while they travel. The ships that crash against the structure mostly result in the death of its crews, but should any crew members survive and make their way into the structure, they'll run into hordes of ravenous monsters. Yay! The survivors find that their station is mostly shut down due to a lack of power, but using a special bot, they can transport an energy crystal from place to place in the station and then power up a limited amount of resources there. Fortunately, doing this drives the monsters in the station into a frenzy, and they will periodically spawn in and try to destroy your crystal bot. If the crystal bot dies, the run is over. When the crystal bot does eventually die, the player will find themselves resurrected miraculously inside a sort of a saloon. There's a number of similarly stranded aliens that are living out their days, unable to leave the station. Saloon serves as a central hub between runs where the player can read about the places, people, and monsters that they've stumbled onto. If you've made enough progress, you'll be able to talk to various people into joining your attempts at breaking free. Each crew member has a goal or a quest that's associated with them, and achieving that goal will basically level up the character, giving them increased stats and allowing you to slot in a modifier of your choosing from a small pool of possible mods for each character. You can also spend scrap that you find along the way in order to unlock improvements in the saloon that will do things from allowing you to see the layout of the station, the types of monsters that can spawn into each section, or even a third character slot that can be used during solo explorations. Initially, you just get 2 character slots. There's also a station for upgrading your starting weapons, as well as weapons that you can find along the way. And finally, you can pay for the privilege of having a loot chest spawn alongside you when you start the run, giving you an easy access to a potentially valuable weapon as soon as you spawn in. The gameplay itself is pretty simple to learn, but it's hard to master. Most weapons just auto-fire when you hold on the fire button, and they'll fire in the direction that you point them to. But a few of them are charged weapons that require you to basically pulse your firing. In addition, each character has a unique special ability, and they have an ultimate ability, and these kind of range from vastly damaging attacks to heals or buffs for yourself and those around you. There's enough variety here that you're probably going to find one that you like and one that you hate. That said, it may be a little too simple for some. Like, for example, there's no jumping or dodging. The only way to avoid enemy fire is to basically anticipate it's coming and try not to be on the way when it happens. Like, you might be able to stay out of range of some types of fire, etc., etc. The game has a good but not great, I would say, enemy variety. There are 4 types of monsters that you face, and each monster type is about 6 or so variations that they come in. So, that's less than 30 or around 30 total monster types that you'll face. But each floor tends to have around 2 different types of monsters that spawn in. So in any one level, you're not going to see more than 12 or so different monster types. Each set of monsters has a damage type that they're weak to, as well as a damage type that they are resistant to. Since each character can only carry 2 weapons at a time, you'll want to try to ensure that you're carrying something that works well against what you're facing, and nothing that works badly against what you're facing. I found this aspect to be largely dependent on the random number generator. Sometimes you get what you need, sometimes you don't, and you have to make do. The workaround here, which is a welcome workaround, is that the starting weapon always works well on all monster types since it doesn't have an elemental damage type. It's just basically kinetic damage. So if you're not finding something that works, you can always just hang on to that starting weapon and it'll work pretty well. This station is broken up into 3 main levels that you need to traverse until you reach the final core level. Each level is broken up into 2 sections. At the end of the section in level 2, there's a giant monster boss fight that you have to succeed at before you can move on to level 3. Each boss that I've seen so far has been very different from the previous boss, and each boss is unique to the level that you're in. Levels are made up of a series of rooms and corridors with a bunch of closed doors. Every time you open up a door, the danger meter goes up until you eventually trigger a spawn wave of monsters. Spawn waves happen every time the danger meter gets filled. You can think of the danger meter as a timer where opening a door subtracts a number of seconds from that timer. Ordering your crystal bot to move and starting a research action will also trigger a spawn wave. Once the wave is triggered, monsters will spawn every few seconds on each spawn zone that you've uncovered for an unknown amount of time. They will go straight for the crystal bot, but might get distracted by any resource refineries that you put down along the way. Players have the ability to tell individual crew members to stay in an area, and you can use that ability to ensure that certain rooms are covered. Your crewmates will do a pretty good job of clearing bad guys, although it's not 100% guarantee that everything that will be cleared. You also have the option to continue opening doors or triggering research items or even moving your crystal bot during a wave. Doing this while the wave is ongoing will reinforce the wave, making it more difficult. You will also occasionally find a crystal embedded on the ground, and should you find it, you can order your bot to extract it. Doing this will trigger a wave that will last until you re-anchor your bot. Your bot will travel from its current anchor point to the location of the crystal, extract it, and then will start following the player. You must then go to an anchor point and tell the bot to anchor there. Aside from the boss fights, I found these upgrades to be the second highest cause of bot death, so be careful. I found the game overall to be a ton of fun. It's one of those where you're constantly thinking of starting a new run as soon as you finish the last one. Just one more run, you think, and next thing you know, it's going to be past midnight and you should have gone to bed hours ago. I think the game succeeds because players are constantly given choices to make, and those choices always have some level of impact. Additionally, the game does a good job of amping up the difficulty as you go deeper and deeper into the station. Even when each run ends in failure, you still get to keep all the scrap you earned as well as any progress that you've made on your character quests. Even if none of the unlocks you get are completely game-changing, over time you do get more powerful and you will feel that. So each failed run you go on ends with the player wanting to start a new run, rather than wanting to put the game down in frustration. That's a win. I hope you found this review helpful, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll catch you on the next one.